body shop that did the work on this car just didn't have time to get it done and get it in, and so here we are. I'm a body man now, apparently. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we're back at it. One of my favorite projects here. Sad, but this one's coming to an end. This is going to be the last week I'll have this car. Just kind of wrapping up some of the details on this thing. Finally got it back from the body shop. Got a bunch of stuff color matched. Got some stuff paint fixed. Still, got the brakes. The Brembos are still at the body shop. I'll be getting those back this week, and then I'm actually going to drop off this front bumper. Have them do a little bit of when I put this front mount kit on here, there was one spot that I didn't like the look of, and I just want to get it fixed. So we're going to take the front bumper off this week and get that back to them, and then they will shoot the front bumper again, and then we will go ahead and be wrapping this car up this week. A brief overview on what we have to do to this car. Right now, we were having issues with this car overheating. After you would do some hard pulls, the car would want to just climb up on temperature, and it would just take forever to come back down. I mean, we were talking like 220, you know, which is definitely hot, but as far as the gauge goes, that's barely over the center of the gauge. So it's not like this thing was getting ready to burn up or something, but it was higher than I wanted to see it. And a lot of that is contributing from something we didn't really get to do a great video on like I wanted to, but we ended up going with a Turbo XS front mount kit, and the only reason we went with that kit specifically was just because it was the availability of the kit. We couldn't really get anything else. Everything else was going to be a real pain in the ass to get, so we went ahead and went with this Turbo XS kit, which I'll tell you, at first I was not a fan of it, and I mean, I'm still not a huge fan of it, and you guys will see why. I will go ahead and drop some of the clips in here. Alright, so this is kind of what we're dealing with right now. We have this last piece of piping that if I really, really wanted to force it, we could bend it, and I can get it on there. You can see, to get this correct, we're going to have to take off a decent amount of material here to shorten this up. Alright guys, so you can see I kind of have this fit up on here. Basically, we're just trying to get this to be as tight of a gap as possible while retaining a nice fluid motion. Alright guys, we got this all welded up. I gave it a quick little polish. You know, not the greatest welds in the world, but I will say I ran out of gas, and right as soon as that, if you know anything about TIG welding aluminum, the second you run out of gas, you are going to absolutely ruin whatever you're welding. So I ran out of gas, and oh well. Trimming the fog lights, because you know they say you can keep your fog lights, but what they don't tell you is you have to cut the fog light housings all to hell. This is what I was talking about with the fog light. This is, you know, given this is extremely rough cut right now, you know, I'm going to clean this all up and make this look a lot nicer. But both sides, it's that way. To clear the intercooler piping, you have to shave all this out of there. So as you guys can see, that's not really a great setup. There's some problems with fitment and stuff on the Turbo XS kit, but I will say, you know, nothing a ball peen hammer can't fix. No, I'm just kidding. I want to wrap up the engine bay entirely, so we know we don't have to come back and touch more stuff in here until John's ready for his bigger turbo and injectors. And I'm sure that will happen at some point. You know, John is, I'll tell you guys, John's about the greatest customer ever. John, if you're watching this, dude, you're awesome. I love working with people that have equal mindset in as far as what the quality of a build should be. I like doing stuff like this where it looks really good when we're done, and it yields a good product and allows for me to further, I guess, expand my creative side of this, where I can take and do different things to get better appearance and better performance, and all of which, you know, that's all part of growing this business and getting it to a point where we can do, you know, crazy big expensive builds all the time. And I mean, who knows, down the line maybe we expand into other builds and make some models and doing a lot of other stuff. I love working on Subarus, but I'll tell you, there's no There's no way that I would turn down working on, you know, other JDM stuff also. I'm going to leave the engine bay kind of dirty right now. I did just wash everything because after it was at the body shop, they must have left the hood open for a day or two or whatever. And whatever, you know, stuff happens. Where we're at right now is we're going to get this thing wrapped up. We have a few more parts to put on it this week yet. John bought a brand new set of BC coilovers for this car, and then we got Cusco strut bars front and rear for this also. I'll just take a second to say a big problem. I've put a lot of these Mishimoto radiators in cars, a lot of them, and I have never actually encountered this. Ran them on my own personal vehicles, never had an issue. But what you end up having happen is this is the cap that comes with the Mishimoto radiator, and this would be the cap that would have been on the upper bottle actually. So I never knew that you actually have to switch these two caps around, because that is a two-way cap and this is a one-way cap. And what ends up happening is if you have this cap down here, it will not bleed off pressure out of your radiator, causing it to come up here, and it will actually shoot coolant out of the upper bottle. So you can kind of see the underside of the hood is a little bit dirty, and it's because we were running into issues where we'd get this thing hot, you know, go do a couple pulls and it would start getting hot and we would end up puking out coolant. So we were having issues, and I was getting extremely concerned that we were having a head gasket failure this premature in the build, and I was really thinking I was going to have to tear the motor back apart. And then I ended up swapping the caps around, and I mean, going out today and doing some hard pulls on this thing to try to get it as hot as I could. And I mean, it's like 60 degrees today, so about 40 degrees warmer than we would have been driving this before the body shop. And the hottest temperature I saw all day, I put like a half hour's worth of driving on it. I probably did 10 or 12 pulls in this thing. You know, tried to get it as hot as I possibly could to basically ensure that it's gonna be good. And we never saw higher than 213 was the highest I saw it hit for 1 second. So it's definitely better swapping these caps around, which is how they tell you to do it. And basically the reasoning is this upper cap is being the single way valve. More or less, what you end up having happen is the boiling point can you actually raise the boiling point of the coolant by having this cap up here, which is what Mishimoto was after. So you can run a higher coolant temperature, which, if anyone knows, obviously higher temperature to a point, higher temperature, higher efficiency. Your motor is a lot more efficient at 210 degrees versus if it being 180 degrees. Things don't have to work as hard, things go a lot smoother, but it's carrying that, I guess, temperature and not going over it is the big thing. So yeah, basically we're just going to go ahead this week and kind of do a final once over on this car. I'm hoping that we can have enough time to get everything done. I really would like to try to get this car back to John by the end of the week. So this is my project for the week. Shop's closed until this thing's done, and all my attention's going into this no matter what. So John's been waiting. God, I bet we're at 6 months now. So John's definitely been patient, and we're gonna get this thing taken care of. And for what it's worth, I would rather have somebody be waiting on their car than have somebody waiting on the side of the road for a wrecker. So I like to just take some time to get these things all dialed in before, especially for John. I know he's going to be putting miles on it, and I know he's going to be, you know, working this car. So we went ahead and just did a quick once over on things, and we're going to continue to do a once over. And I'm going to be very hard on this car this week intentionally, just so that we can work out any sort of problems that might arise going forward. Something that is extremely not cool that we have to take care of this week is, obviously, like we said, this car is really clean and what we thought are really original. And we did find when it was at the body shop that there had been some rust repair done in the rear quarters of this car. And a 2002 WRX that is a wagon is about 99% going to have rust problems in the rear strut towers, and this one's no different. So we found some rust that I would like to get taken care of this week. Alright everyone, so we're back at it today. This is obviously the Rocket Wagon. We have the interior halfway stripped. The interior, basically everything from the driver's seats back. Obviously we did not pull the carpet and everything, but driver's seats back is all pulled. I am going to go ahead right now and basically I need to take, and I got some heavy plastic over here that we are going to get hung up everywhere in the car, and just mainly trying to obviously not have any burning of any sort on anything in the car. Plastic is not flame proof or anything, but my biggest concern is not necessarily flame. My concern is basically not having sparks flying all over and burning stuff that way. Obviously, fire extinguisher and everything will be by mandatory equipment to have when you're doing any sort of welding in a car, especially when you're this close to a fuel tank, and there's just a lot of variables here that, you know, aren't awesome at all, but this car needs to get this fixed. This is a body shop that did the work on this car, just didn't have time to get it done and get it in, and so here we are. I'm a body man now, apparently. So we're gonna do some body work on this thing. I you know, I have some experience in this. This is definitely not my profession by any means, but I mean, hey, whatever. I've got a good enough grasp of welding and metal works and in general to be able to make this happen.
Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see-through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, they ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see-through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, they ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Big flex, my swole up. Double cup and I'm pulled up. Hating like hold up. What's the problem? I'm pulled up. Big flex, my swole up. Hard body, they fold up. Shawty say I done glowed up. Double text on my phone up. With your boy, I'm the man of the year. I'm not a fan of your peers. Serve him a fate, I'ma hand him the shears. He not the man of your peers. Heart of a lion, I'm trampling fears. I love the man in the mirror. Cry me a river to stand in the tears. You better stand in the clear. I'm going crazy, fugazi. How would they ever go with a kid? Put it on, baby. It do not faze me. Boy, I do not give what you did. Eating that kitty, she stuck to my rib. How can I trust him? He the pigs. Bro got a Glock and a couple of C's. He think about splitting a couple of wigs. Shotty my DNA all real. Sweatsuit, all heel figure. And I ain't even got to deal with you. If I ain't never split a bill with you, I got Hennessy and horchata. Baby girl wearing nada. Growing from a cider. Bad robe in his Prada. Fiji water by the cold glass. Granddaddy by the Ziploc. Flex season, I'm road running. I'm staying all on my tip top. Young man with an old mind, so I ain't worried about slight. I be up till sunrise. I'm staying out on my night shift. I got a bottle of bourbon, a bundle of honeys. I'm jiggy, I'm flexing it. Figured I hit it and quit it. I'm busy, I ain't got the minutes for texting it. Came from the gutter with me and my brother. I'm moving my mother right out of the city. I'm a star and they know I go hard, so I'm kissing them babies and signing them. Gold blinging like Chingo, rock star like Ringo. Checks coming in back to back, I'ma line them up like bingo. Oh, I think that they like me. They be all on my wood tip, not a stain on my white tee. I'm popping all of this good. Big flex, my swole up. Double cup and I'm pulled up. Hating like hold up, what's the problem? I'm pulled up. Big flex, my swole up. Hard body, they fold up. Shawty say I done glowed up. Double text on my phone up. Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, it ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Baby girl love my bop and I like me too.
Alright guys, this is kind of what you want to see when you're doing any sort of welding in a car. All this duct tape is has painter tape underneath it, so it's not actually having any duct tape on contact of anything. Kind of went up here to the headliner, did a painter's tape, big layer, probably 6 inches wide, and then carried it through all the way up and around. So basically, this thing is good. The only thing I'm going to end up doing here is I'm going to take and hang another one to cover the headliner, cover it in the back, or hang it from the sides and then hang it from the back and tape up where it need be. There we go. As far as the rust goes, here's the driver's side. You can see this is all cracking apart here. Pardon me on the poor video quality here. This is kind of hard to hold the light up and hold my phone also. So you can see lots of damage on this side that is going to all have to get cut out and new pieces welded in place. All right, peeps, so we got some plastic. I just got this stuff just clamped up here just to cover the headliner, make sure we don't have any fires or anything like that. Basically just trying to seal everything off from the outside, or I'm sorry, from the inside, so we don't have, you know, just don't have fires. So, as you guys can see, this is all completely rotted. That's kind of what I was thinking we were going to run into, that this all just needs to get cut out and replaced. And that's exactly where we're at this point right now. So basically, go ahead and get this harness pulled out of here, and get the harness pulled out of here, and we're going to go ahead and have to try to do our best to cut up in here and basically come over. And I'm going to try to stay here, keep this a solid one piece right here, and then just see how bad this rust actually ends up getting, because I mean it's pretty gruesome at this point. I didn't expect to find it to be this bad on this car, where we have several holes and a lot of bad stuff going on here. So you can see I went ahead and cut out, this was all rot in here. Now we're back to good metal. Went ahead and cut all that stuff out, and basically I'm going to trim everything to straight edges so I can patch over the top of it. This will all get cut down and around, and then that real dark spot in the middle there I'll cut out and patch in with fresh seal. So we're getting there, making progress here, but this is basically how you're going to want to do this. Get this to a point where you can, this is all metal that's you can weld to over here. So we'll plate this all back in and start working on that. All right, guys, so you can see this is kind of where we're at. This is super rough fitment here, but we will go ahead. We got this all cut out. We got this all cut out here. This is basically where all the bad rust was. Everything that's in here is actually solid metal. Yeah, it's got some rust staining on it, but this will all get covered and taken care of the proper way with proper you know, we're going to use all the acid etch primers and everything inside here to be able to make sure that this rust does not poke back. So we got the one piece tacked in there. You guys can kind of see we got the one piece tacked in, and then I went ahead and removed this whole section. The main spot, there's a big rust spot here, so we're going to go ahead and just put a whole new section in here and start filling this stuff back in. Obviously, these are just little baby tacks just to hold everything in place. Don't think that those are final or anything. Everything will get ground off and actually seam welded, so everything is strong and safe. Basically, it's going to keep pushing forward on getting another piece of steel in here, and then you guys can see we got more to cut out down here. This is all going to have to get cut out from so I'll have to get cut out from the inside of the car, and I guess replaced that way. From the inside, we'll have to slip it down in here and more or less just try to patch this all in so we have all solid steel here. All right, guys, so we got those pieces roughly fitted in here. Nothing crazy going on yet. I'm gonna have to get something else to get up in this top part and get all this undercoating off here so I can actually tack this piece all the way in. But this is 3 total pieces, and as far as contour goes, it actually matches really closely to the factory I guess wheel liner area. So basically from here we're gonna go, and I got a lot of welding to do on the inside of the car. I kind of want to wait till somebody else is here to be able to watch on the outside of the car to make sure nothing catches on fire while I'm welding on the inside, which is why I'm doing everything out here. Because yeah, we got this really cool scenario where welding, gas tank, welding, gas tank, welding, gas tank. No fires, no nothing cool happening here yet. So here's kind of where we're at right now. I cut out in these holes that they have here. I did not actually end up cutting it back out to match the rest of the hole there. And main reason being is because I wanted as much metal as I could in place. And then obviously this will all get welded in fully and sanded and grinded and look like it was never welded. And then obviously on the inside we're gonna have to skin over the top of this to match what was originally there. All right, guys, so it's Friday night. Isaac's not here. See Luke Dog over there, he's here, he's ready to go home. This video got way longer than I wanted it to. There ended up being way more rust than I wanted there to be, and I mean, not more than you guys saw, but I didn't plan on there being that much from the get-go. So this is taking longer than I thought. I will show you guys the finished result in the next video and kind of just talk about what steps I had to do. I will, you know, briefly touch on the different things like I'm going to be doing with acid etch primer and weld through primer, and then I got seam sealer and all of that cool stuff to use to make this 100% proper, 100% the way it should be done. You know, you can't buy these parts from Subaru anymore. So I am going to go ahead and wrap this video up here. Please like and subscribe to the channel, guys. We'll be doing a lot more to this car. Still got some more. I'm gonna guess we'll probably do 2 more videos before we give this car back to John, and then kind of just go from there. See what happens. See, you know, hey, you never know. Cool stuff might happen in between now and then. All right, guys, thanks for watching.